But we do want to begin in Windsor and the CBC's Katerina Georgieva. She is watching this new standoff on the second day of police action against protesters. So Katerina, good to see you once again. Walk us through what is happening right now.
Michael, the last hour has been incredibly dramatic. Over the last several hours, there have been demonstrators that continued along this sidewalk here. And just for context of where we are, this is kind of the next major intersection south of where the bridge blockade had been. So after police were able to clear Huron Church, that road that leads from Highway 401 to the bridge, several demonstrators gathered here. So there were about 30 throughout the afternoon, and police did warn them that they should leave. Now, for the most part, they did remain on the sidewalk, which even earlier this afternoon, Mayor Judilkin said you are welcome to protest on the sidewalk. But police officers, they made it very clear that they wanted this area to be clear and occupied by police only. I had been stationed around the corner and I saw dozens of police officers come out of vehicles, so I knew that they were going to progress to this intersection. And when I came around here, they had come into a large line, similar to what we had seen before earlier in the day and tomorrow as well. And they approached these demonstrators first seemingly as a way to intimidate them a little bit, just to say we really need you to leave. And then they moved back, and then they moved back towards the protesters, and they did this several times to warn them that if they did not leave, if they did not clear the space, then they would be arrested. And after this happened a couple of times, then arrests did start taking place. I saw a handful of people get arrested the first round, then again police officers backed off, and then they kept going. And this happened several times. Can't say for sure how many people got arrested, at least a handful of them, potentially a dozen. There are still some demonstrators that remain. I'll get our camera person, just Darren, to shoot. We have a couple of people here with a flag. There are still a few more down the road, but for the most part, they've either cleared or have been arrested at this time, Michael.
Now, Katerina, I don't know if you can answer this.
And standing in front of me as well, as somebody just pointed out. Yes,
okay.
Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
It's okay. You know, and I think maybe it's worthwhile to get some clarification here as well, because as we have been reporting earlier today, police did break up the demonstration, the blockade closer towards the Ambassador Bridge. They're now moving in on this intersection. Is this the last pocket of demonstrators in the city? I don't know if you have any idea on that as to whether or not this is the last remaining site.
As far as I know, this is the last remaining site, yes. And the other thing that's important to note is that there are businesses on both corners of this intersection. So business owners have also been very concerned about this activity, and they wanted demonstrators out of their private parking lots. They wanted any of their vehicles out of their private parking lots. We saw a number of vehicles towed away as well. So clearly this has been a key point for police, that they wanted to clear out theoretically to prevent more demonstrators from returning to that main stretch of road that had just been cleared earlier today, Michael.
Okay, and Katerina, before I let you go, I know you say that there's a few, what would you say, less than a dozen? That's what it seems looking at the video from here, but from where you are, less than a dozen protesters left?
Less than, I mean, they're a bit scattered right now, so I'd say a dozen or more. Now, some of them are just backed off a little bit. They're not antagonizing the police. You might be hearing some of them around me right now. There were a few that had approached the police officers, but they seem to have backed down. So I do think it's a bit more than a dozen, but I can't say for sure, Michael. I'm sorry, they are scattered all around me.
No, I appreciate that it's very hard to be in one position trying to get a gauge of everything, but really thank you for painting the picture for us, Katerina. And of course, we'll keep tracking the situation, as officials are hoping, or did say that they were hoping to open the Ambassador Bridge before day's end. So we're going to keep tracking that. Katerina, for now, thank you for that. Katerina Georgieva in Windsor, Ontario.